We're on live.
This is CCR on 104.4 FM in Chelmsford, also online at chelmsfordcommunityradio.com. And it's just coming up to 9:15 and my very special guest is here. Hello! Hello,
Good
Anne-Marie.
evening. Good evening, Nita.
A very warm welcome to Anne-Marie Wickham from Blackmore. A very inspirational lady. She's a hypnotherapist, a life coach and a public speaker, specialising in all sorts of areas including confidence building, assertiveness training, dealing with addictions. She's here to promote her programme called Flow, a 9-week transformation programme, and also to give some tips a little bit later as well.
I hope so, yeah.
So thank you once again for coming into the studio. You okay?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Glad to be here, Nita. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
I'm always welcome and thank you for coming. So you are a hypnotherapist by trade.
I am.
So is that what I think it is? Is it like hypnotising people?
It's absolutely. It's not the stage stuff where people disappear into puffs of smoke, like now you see me, now you don't, although I'd love to be able to do all of that. Clinical hypnotherapy is more about working with people to overcome limiting beliefs that they can't deal with themselves. So it's much more on a therapeutic level, and it's not really for, you know, stage shows or things like that. It's much more helpful than that, although that could be helpful in some other ways, entertainment wise.
So it really works. So hypnotising people really works for their fears. So say like bungee jumping or jumping out of a plane, that's something I'd never do. Would you be able to help me with that? Or not that I want to jump
I was
out of a
going
plane.
to say, well, there you go. That's given me the answer. Because if you really wanted to jump out of a if you really wanted to bungee jump out of a plane, I could help you with that. If you're thinking it's something to do, but I don't really want to do it, then I can't help you with that.
Right.
Let me give you an example. I had a client last year that hadn't driven for 21 years. She lived in London, so she had London transport. She didn't really need to go anywhere by car. And so she just stopped using a car, as we all do, use it or lose it. And 21 years later, she lives here in this beautiful area of Essex, Chelmsford, and you need a car. You just have to have a car. So she came to me and she said, I need to get back driving. I don't want to take my test again. It's too expensive. Can you give me a session that will enable me to get into my car? That's exactly what I did. We had an hour's session and she drove me home. And I've actually got... I take a video. I always take videos of people because sometimes they go, really? Can you really do that? And I say, I really can do that. So I took a video and her face just says it all. She's like, wow, I can drive again in just one session. So it really can break through barriers that you wouldn't normally believe could happen. It's definitely, you know, life coaching is sort of long term, but hypnotherapy is the one that just cuts through it all and just gets you out there to whatever you want to do.
So that sounds incredibly quick. So she just had one session?
One
was all mental, so it wasn't like physically sitting in a car and
Nope.
looking at the wheel.
Nope.
So it's all about your mind.
All about your mindset. I'm going to give you another example. I had a 11-year-old boy working with me, and his parents rang me distraught and really, really upset because their son had actually had such a fear of school, he'd stopped walking. And when I went to see him, his parents were actually carrying him from room to room. Really, it was that serious. They were carrying him upstairs, they were getting him out of bed in the morning. His legs, in his mind, had just stopped working. And after doing 3 sessions with him and really uncovering why, what was the fear, how had it grown, because that's what happens. We get a very small fear and we don't address it earlier on, especially when you're a child, and it grows and it grows and it grows and it expands, and before you know it, that small fear has metamorphosized into so many other areas of your life. And so after 3 sessions, he came to my house and we did our session, and he walked out of the door for the first time. He walked in 7 weeks. He walked. Now, I don't say they're miracles, but what I do say is for those children, it is life-changing for them to realise, I can do this. And that really is all it's about, is when the children that we create that ethos in I can do it are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
Wow, that's amazing. And like you said, in childhood, that's like the best time.
Yeah.
To do that, so that you don't grow up into adulthood with that fear.
So many adults we have with fears of all different descriptions. The formative years are between 0 and 7, and that's because between those years you are actually living with hypnosis. you are living in immersion, and everything around you, you just sponge in, don't you? You don't question it. It goes in. People tell you, they can either tell you you're great, you're fantastic, or you're stupid and you shouldn't even be doing that. Whatever you get, whatever input you get in at that age is the template for the rest of your life that you're either going to spend undoing or building upon, depending on how good your childhood was.
Oh, that's a really interesting information. Didn't know that, but it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Because you're young and you're just absorbing everything.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have control about what you're absorbing, so it's dependent on other
the
people,
environment,
and,
absolutely.
and where you are, situation, and what you see, what you hear, what you experience.
And this is what brings in all your limiting beliefs. You know, that's why you really are a product of your parents. And some people think it's hereditary, but no, it's not. It's osmosis. It's the fact of you're listening to it every day. A quick story. Les Brown is one of my idols, my heroes. He's a motivational speaker. And the way that he became a motivational speaker, his mum was very poor and she was a cleaner. And she used to take him with her every day to go to her cleaning job. Now, the guy she cleaned for was a very famous motivational speaker. And little Les, in his pushchair, was sitting there every day waiting for mum to do the cleaning. But the guy put on these motivational CDs all the time, every day. And obviously, so this is what Les Brown was hearing every single day. And he's now one of our most fantastic transformational speakers that we have. And that was just because that was what he was exposed to at an early age. Fortunately, he was blessed to have been in that environment. It's not always the way that you think it's going to happen, is it? You know, his mum was a cleaner, she was poor, and yet one of the first things that he did was to buy her a massive big house, and he was so overjoyed to be able to do that.
That's so sweet.
Really, yeah, it's lovely.
It's so sweet. You mentioned that. That so makes sense, because when you think about famous people, earlier on in the show I was talking about MIA, the rapper. I don't know if you know her.
Of course I know.
So I watched her DVD. She's got a documentary DVD over the weekend. So she's British, but she's of Sri Lankan origin.
Right.
But they were having the civil war when she was growing up in Sri Lanka, and her dad was fighting over there. And she went to Sri Lanka and she was experiencing that over there. And she, in her rap music, she tells a story, and that's how she became famous and how she became so big in the US, because her most famous songs are about the struggle over there, being related, and the emotion in
Absolutely.
that. And she was like a unique person telling this story.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like her influence is, like you said, from childhood is made her, and it goes for everyone, I suppose.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that you come from humble beginnings or scarcity beginnings, that's where you need to stay. And that's the beauty and the joy that I love about hypnotherapy and life coaching, is that whatever environment you were born in, you know, many of us have been born into difficult situations, but they don't determine your future. You know, they are just circumstances then. And once you believe and you understand that you actually create your own destiny, then life really does change for you.
So let's talk about your flow program. It's a 9-week program. You mentioned
that segue.
You mentioned the hypnotherapy. That's just one facet of it. So there's hypnotherapy, is there life coaching?
And then there's
how does your
energy
program
alignment. Okay,
work?
so I've been doing all of these things for the last couple of years, and I've been doing them individually because that's what people have asked for. But what I found is people need different things at different times. So when they first come to me, they're very fearful. Sometimes they're a little bit skeptical as well. So we have the first session of hypnotherapy. Boom, you just blast through it. I'm going to give you a really good example of that. I had a client, he's only just started with me. He's the first guy. He's the first person that's on my flow program, and he's actually born on the same day as me. What wonderful synchronicity.
Yeah.
Really good. And the day we had our first session, he had the hypnotherapy. This is how dramatic a change that can happen for you when you really apply yourself and really give your all to this program. He walked away the next day. He sent me, because what I ask my clients to do is just send me a little text and tell me what you feel has changed. Because you know what you focus on, you're going to see more of. So if you're focusing on those good changes, you're going to see more of those good changes. He texted me the next day. He said, Anne-Marie, I've done something that I've been meaning to do for such a long time. And here it is. He'd shaved off all his head. Shaved it all off to a number 2, and he had quite long hair. And I said to him, I sent a text, but I said, you know what, that's the most fantastic extreme form of shedding. He's shed his past in his haircut just like that. I see fantastic things for this young guy, to be quite honest. He's starting his business, he's doing all these branching out, and this is just the boost that he needs, because he's really fired up now to really get out of life what he wants. So yeah, so that's the hypnotherapy. Then the life coaching. So You get rid of all those limiting beliefs. You start with your plan and you say, right, this is what I want for my life, and you start looking at where you can go. But you know, if we have come from a scarcity mindset or poverty mindset, sometimes I ask my clients, what does success mean for you? What makes you happy? You will be surprised at how many people don't even know. They've never even thought about what actually does make me happy. They're so busy doing life, they forget to be involved and decide what they want out of life. They're so busy waiting for life to come to them and dealing with it, instead of creating the life that they want and following it. So coaching is magnificent for, you know, getting people to really start dreaming big. And I love it because I work with clients as young as 5 years old. I've just worked with my 2 clients earlier on this evening, and they're both 9 and 10. And I do a wheel of life. In the beginning, we do a wheel of life, and you know, in order for life to go well, you have to have a wheel of life. They all have to be equal. And 2 weeks ago, we did that wheel of life, and it was very jagged and really wouldn't have got you anywhere. And tonight, I just did a Facebook Live about it. It's nearly round, because he can see the progress and the change. He described it brilliantly, actually. He can see the change in the progress it's made for him, and he's only 9, so you can imagine when you start learning these skills of how to create your life, by the time you're 20 and 21, there's no stopping you. You're going to be amazing. And then when you've got to that point of achieving everything that you want in your life, you're really on that track and feeling absolutely amazing. We are only human, so there are going to be days when you don't feel amazing, and that's what the energy alignment is about. I teach you a skill of being able to ask yourself those questions about why you're being held back, and your body will speak to you. It's actually quite amazing. I'm not going to say too much about that because that's my special part. But so it's not just about going on a program, learning some things, and then a year later you're like, oh God, I feel the same as I did before. You actually come on this program, you have a paradigm shift, your life is totally different, and then I also give you the tools to be able to maintain that new life that you've created for yourself. And that's what you want. You want to walk around, be empowered to live this life and carry it on for yourself. Yeah,
it really does sound interesting. Like they say that when you do something, you have to practice so that it becomes
21 times
routine. So it's quite important to give people the skills to carry on what you're helping them with. It's a 9-week program. How many times a week do you see people?
So it's a 9-week program, and I see them, it really depends. It might be once every 2 weeks or once a week, but I like to keep up the momentum, because then you've had your 21 days, haven't you? You've had your 21 days and some. So by the time you finish the program, you are actually set. Your mindset is set, and your focus is there. You've done everything you need to do. But even though it's a 9-week program, lots of people actually come and they stay working with me, because it's like this, you know, think of a classic car, okay, beautiful classic car that you might have bought 30 years ago. Now, the person that maintains that classic car, that shines it up and makes it good and gives it an MOT every year and makes sure you've got all the parts for it, 30 years later, that classic car is worth more than it was the day that you bought it. Why? Because it's a classic, right? You put all that time, love, effort and energy into it, right? Life coaching is the same. If you put that time, love, energy and effort into you once a month, then imagine how or who you are going to be when you're 30. You know, people sometimes say to me after they've had hypnotherapy, a year later, they say, oh, I don't think it's working as well. You know, if it's about a fear or a phobia, then it does. It gets rid of it once and for all. But if it's about empowering your life consistently, then you need to keep putting into it. You know, you wouldn't just put petrol in your car once and expect you to get you on the road for the rest of your life, would you? So, and I think about some of the things that people do continuously for themselves. Maybe they buy cigarettes continually for themselves. Maybe they have hair extensions continually for themselves. All the things that people do and they don't blink an eyelid over. But yet people are sometimes a little bit cautious to say, actually, I'm going to invest once a month in giving myself the best life ever. Doesn't it sound simple? Doesn't it sound normal? Doesn't it sound the most obvious thing to do?
It does, and we don't do it.
Exactly.
We do, like you said, MOTs on our cars.
Yeah.
We clean our cars. We make sure they're okay. We do building insurance on our house and things.
Yeah.
But we don't look after our bodies ourselves.
The most important relationship you'll ever have is with you.
Wow, and you've got a special offer for us.
I have got a special offer. Remind me of my special offer, Nita.
I think it was £30 for...
You'll love this one. So I thought, because a lot of people think life coaching, what is life coaching? What's it all about? And if they haven't come from a personal development, or it's just not something that's been on their radar, I thought, what a nice way to introduce people. Come to me with any one of your problems, because sometimes people come to a life coaching session, they tell me their whole life and they say, can you fix it? No, I can't. And anyway, it's you that does the fixing. But so I thought 30 minutes, £30, come with any problem, will get you a resolution in that time, so that you can see how it works. You can not only see how it works, but you can feel empowered to know, hey, I can do this all the time. I can do this whenever I want to do. Whenever I've got something that's keeping me stuck. Some people get stuck with things for 4 or 5 years. Oh yeah, I don't go on holiday anymore. I can't fly. The amount of people that I did hypnotherapy for flying last year was unbelievable. Yeah, wow. Yeah, a lot of them. And even now, there's a lady that I know, Lorraine. She's on my Facebook, and she's just started doing solo flights, and she says, I still don't like it, but I'm doing it. The difference between I still don't like it but I'm doing it to I wasn't doing it at all is the fact that she's been able to do it, and she's going to different places. But to be fair, I said to her, welcome to the world of flying, Lorraine, because no one really likes it. We do it because we have to, but it's not comfortable.
It's a destination.
It's a destination.
It's a means to an end.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I said, you're not. It hasn't not worked. You're just here now with the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Joined in.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. So we're going to hear more.
30 minutes. Yeah. £30. Any problem? Come and see me. I'm in a lovely, lovely environment, so you almost get an induction as you drive out to me, because it's so beautiful. You come to me feeling very zen. Aww. People just get in the chair, they assume the position like this. I was like, should we have a cup of tea first?
Cool stuff. We'll hear more from you very shortly. You're going to give us some tips.
Yes.
About how to improve our lives, how we can be happier after a track chosen by yourself.
Yes.
And what have you chosen and why?
I've chosen Gladys Knight and the Pips, and You're the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. And the reason why I've chosen this, it's the first record that I played to myself that I really recognised this was the truth. I am the best thing that's ever happened to me. Most people live their lives looking outwards and they don't give themselves the time. Play this record to yourself, sing this record to yourself, and know the love that you have for yourself, and it will just make you feel amazing. Grace is kicking me under the chair, telling me to be quiet.
Oh, Mum, you drag it on.
I talk too much because I'm a. Sorry. Oh, Sarah. Hello, Ben. Oh, I like this one.
And you chose the deadest music.
Oh my God. I think it's gorgeous.
So bad.
But listen to the words, Grace. I've been lucky. Guess you could say.
Stop dancing.
Why? I like
You're
it.
making it worse.
Anyone should ever write my life story. The reason. Wait, why are you...
I'm so bad at dance.
Like this.
Do it.
You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I should, we could have had a bit more of a lively one. They're all a bit somber. But that's why the happy people was on the end, to like liven it up a little bit. But hey ho. Oh no, we've got Spotlight.
We've got Spotlight next, yeah.
I love Spotlight. Great. So you're going to dance with me for Spotlight. You know you love. Why do children get so shy?
When you're a small kid, you're really like. When you're like 2 or 3, you're like dancing everywhere.
They're on
and
the
then there
dance
comes a
floor.
point where you just get really shy.
You know what that is? That's when the ego
Shy?
kicks in.
Shy? No, my friend. No. Your
not...
music is horrific.
Oh dear.
Harry said, I've got good singing and I've got good dancing. Thank you, Harry.
Harry's either blind or...
Deaf.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
One of the two.
You've got good taste, Harry. You've got good taste. You ready? should ever write
Oh, you can't.
my life story.
You're so bad.
Why are you taping me then?
Because I need everyone to see how terrible you are.
No, it's a bit high for me actually. I'm not going to be a singer. To me. But don't you think the words are quite... When you think about the words, you know, you've been there through everything. And, you know, we spend our lives looking around for somebody to rescue us, for someone to come in and make it better for us. Little realising that person's
It's
inside
ourselves,
you.
yeah.
You know,
It's ourselves. We should
putting a
do
hand up, look at me, I'm here, I'm here. Took me
Getting that
48
confidence.
years to realise that. Thank you.
Okay, so there's going to be a few ads, and then we'll go back on.
Yeah.
Nita Jhumma's City Talk.
If you
Mine's
keep
on
a
the
little bit
radio
closer,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to, yeah, it was good
Yeah.
then. Just make sure you don't, like...
Yeah,
go back.
yeah.
Great Uncle Reginald
Fine, yeah,
That's it.
that's
You
good,
like
that's
puzzles?
good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
and mind games?
Few
If
short
so,
ads,
you
then
may
we'll
be
go.
able to win some of my money
Just want everyone to hear you.
at Chelmsford
Thank you.
estaterooms.co.uk.
How long have you been doing this, Nita?
About 10 years, like, with this station only a year.
Yeah.
But the hospital one for like 10 years, a long time.
Don't you look old?
Nita Jhumma's
supposed to say it
City
back.
Talk.
Oh dear.
So I'm back with my special guest, Anne-Marie Wickham. You just heard her choice of song. What a great choice of song. Brilliant. Lovely. She was swaying along, singing along to that one here in the studio. So Anne-Marie, she's a very inspirational lady. She's a hypnotherapist, a life coach and a public speaker. She helps you to achieve your goals and be the best version of you. I like the quote that I saw on your website. Close the door on the past.
Yes.
Open the door to the future. Take a deep breath. Start a new chapter in your life.
Absolutely.
That does sound amazing.
And the good thing about that is any day you make that decision to do that is the day that it will happen for you. You know, it's not one of those things where, oh, it's too late, or I'm not old enough, or there's you don't have to have a reason or an excuse. You can just make that decision yourself today, tomorrow, whenever you feel like it. But it's waiting for you.
Yeah, because a lot of people have things, yeah, like you said, from the past, just holding them back, but
Yeah.
they can just move forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you help people with a wide variety of subjects and fears and topics, like we mentioned, confidence building, assertiveness. And I thought one really difficult area is relationships.
Yeah.
Because last week it was Valentine's
Yes.
Day. What about the day, like the way we live now, today, it's really hard to find your life partner, just someone you can spend your time with. And how do you help people with that? Because in other areas, it's down to you, and you can go out there and you can achieve something solo. But with a relationship, you can try as much as you can yourself, but then it depends on that other person, how they act, how they interact with you, how are they interested in you, and you might be interested in them, they might not be interested in you, or vice versa. What tips do you have for us?
Do you know,
in that
Nita,
area?
I am so glad that you asked me that question. Really, I am. Because even, I think a lot of people feel the way that you're speaking, the way that you've said, that they feel out of control of this situation. They feel that a lot of the power lies with other people, and they're subject to other people's desire, or just do they like me, do you know, am I doing okay, oh, I bet not, I walk tiptoes around that person. In relationships, people feel almost as if they just feel out of control. And we just listened to that song, and it's really, really poignant that we had that song on, because that was the very first song that I played to myself to show me the love that I had for me. Because like many women and men who are looking outside of themselves to find love, to find that perfect relationship, to find somebody that adores them, to find somebody that just makes them feel really special, loved and adored, they're looking outside for that, and they sometimes don't feel they're complete. There's a lot of single people that feel that they are less than because they don't have a partner, and they feel embarrassed when they have to go to weddings and the cinema and things like that. I think the biggest discovery that I made about being in a partnership or being in a relationship is that I gave up so much of myself in past relationships, and it didn't actually help the relationships, it hindered the relationships. And what I really discovered was that person that I was looking for outside, that person that I was looking for in bars and nightclubs and wherever I went to look for a partner, that person was actually me. I was looking for me. And the day that I discovered that, and there's something I do on another one of my courses, it's called mirror work, and it really is about looking into the mirror and looking at the person that's been there from day one, the person that never shouts at you, that's never unhappy with you, that's always there with you, that doesn't judge you in the morning without your makeup, that doesn't judge you when you do something wrong, that doesn't laugh at you when you didn't quite complete whatever you wanted to complete, that doesn't say anything if you don't buy them any presents, but actually constantly and unconditionally loves you. That person is in your mirror and is you. And when you actually believe that and you feel that and you live in that, loving yourself every day, let me tell you, really amazing things happen to you. And that's when the right person comes along. Because if you are not resonating and being the person that you were born to be, you'll only get, but that will only reflect in the partner that you get. So if you're not happy with the partners that you've been getting, you need to look inside yourself, because all that you are is all that you will attract.
Wow. Powerful stuff. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so impressed. I was mesmerised by that answer. Like, stunned into silence. What about tips for career? I know we're in Chelmsford, so there's a lot of businesses up and coming. The high street's always developing, so there's people listening right now who are working for someone, working for themselves. How do you achieve?
Well, I'm really happy you're asking all the right questions tonight, Miss Nita. You really are. Because as well as launching my live flow program, I'm also launching a set of 3 business workshops, and the first one, I've just written a book for it, Network Mastery. Really proud of that. I have been known, it is my tag, I am a #network queen. I love networking, and that's because I love people. I love meeting people, I love joining people together, I like collaborating with people. I love networking, and I'm so happy that it's part of my job to talk to people all day long. And so because I was at the event on Sunday, I was at the Best You Expo, which was in Olympia, fantastic. I met Marissa Peer, it was all amazing. And I was with a very good friend of mine, and she said to me, Anne-Marie, you are the network queen. Why don't you write a book? That was on Friday. Well, the book's written now. And it's one of the giveaways that I'm going to give on my workshop, which is going to be Network Mastery. It's a set of 3 workshops, Network Mastery, Charging Your Worth. For anybody that's self-employed, I know, isn't it the hardest thing? You can talk about your business with passion, you can get people really excited and they really want that product or service that you've got, and then all of a sudden they say, how much do you charge? And you go, because it's the hardest thing to say. So I teach people why and how they can charge the worth that they are, because of understanding what comes into everything that you do that makes it worth you being able to charge your worth. In other words, it's the backstory that comes with it. It's not just about the money that you're saying there and then, but it's all about what happens inside you when people ask you that question. Again, confidence. It all boils down to confidence. That's why I'm a confidence coach. And the last one, charging your worth, powerful presentations. You know, we'd all like to, if you go networking like me, super networker, and you have to do that 1-minute pitch and you have to sell your whole life in a 1-minute pitch, that's really, really hard. So I help people to get that 1-minute pitch perfect, but not to stand up there with confidence, you know what, and have fun, because it is all about fun. And when you start putting the fun factor back into any of these things, networking, presentations, charging money, then it all becomes so much more easier. So again, it's all about the confidence you have about yourself and enjoying yourself, and that will allow other people to enjoy you too. So that's 3 workshops. It's £79. We won't go into that, but just go to my website because all the information is going to be there. Or you can contact me. I'll give you my details. They can contact me personally and we can have a chat. Coming up in April.
Brilliant stuff. You mentioned networking there.
Yes.
Sometimes a while ago, I used to really be scared of networking. I used to be like really scared of it, and now I've got better, I think. But I think it's okay. You go to network and you meet people, you can be friendly and everything, but at the end of the day, you want contacts and you want them to contact you. And how do you do that without being forceful or feeling weird? Or
well, as I say, I've gone into it in quite a lot of detail in the book, but let me give you a few pointers. Everybody there is feeling exactly the same as you. And I would say to you, first of all, know what your outcome is before you go. What are you actually going there for? You know, some people go to network, some people go to observe, some people go for collaborations, some people just want to see what's going on out there. Some people want to see how other people who are doing the same job as them are doing it. It's a real learning ground, networking. So go with make sure that when you go, you've got your right outcome and you stick to your outcome. Don't start crossing over, because then you'll go away feeling disappointed you didn't achieve what you went for. Learn some really good exit strategies. Another thing I say is, once you start getting really good at networking, you get to really know who you want to speak to and who you don't want to speak to, and you can really tactfully extricate yourself from a conversation that's not quite going the way that you want to. But even better than that, most networking events that people have already, especially on Facebook, they already sign up. I've got a sneaky one. Go onto the network group where they've signed up and go and check out who they are, because then you can take your business to that forum and adjust your business to suit what they are. So, for instance, me as a hypnotherapist, if I'm going to a small business venue, then I'm going to be talking about powerful presentations and networking skills and charging your worth. If I'm going to a personal development, I'm going to be talking about confidence, self-esteem, getting over trauma or leaving behind emotional baggage. I adjust what I do to suit the crowd that I'm going to. So that's one of the really good ways. When you do your 1 minute pitch, don't try and sit. It's another little tip. This is what I do. I hope not too many people are listening. They probably are. Stop it. But I wait till they go all the way around the table and I watch everybody's eyes. And the person that they most look impressed with, if they laugh or they most look impressed, I just nick a bit of what they've said. I do. I'm really cheeky. Like, I watched this woman talking about holidays, and she was saying, yes, I'm a holiday rep and there's all these amazing places that I go, and everyone was like, oh yeah. And I said, okay, so I do a job pretty much like this lady here. I'm a life travel agent. Yes, and I take you on journeys in your life to all the destinations you want to be. And I just switched it around, so everyone was like, they were still in her zone, still feeling that, oh yes, beach, sand, lovely. And I just chipped in, and I got 3 contacts that way. So there's lots of different tricks and tips that you can use to give you a little bit of a head start. And once you have that head start and you start getting people, they'll start recognising you as well. I went to the Best You Expo. I was shocked. So many people came up and recognised me. I've seen you do your Facebook Lives. I've seen you do your Facebook Lives. I wasn't really aware. So it's another way. You don't even need to be in a room to be networking. Get on your Facebook, do some Facebook Lives. People will start recognising you, especially if what you're saying has great content and other people start sharing you. So many good ways to network. You don't even need to leave your house. But it is fun though.
There might be a job for you with Alan Sugar on The Apprentice.
Can I? Alan Shugs.
Have you seen them network sometimes on that programme?
Yeah, yeah. They're very wooden.
Yeah. And when they talk to people, they talk to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And then exit with the right people. So yeah.
I think there is definitely a knack to networking, and I think don't give up, because the more you do it, the better you'll get. Get this downloaded book that I've just written. It will give you so many tips, and honestly, if you're the only one that's read it and the others haven't, you're going to be so empowered. You're going to sweep the room. You're going to have business cards coming out of your business cards. By the way, little tip, always have business cards, have your face on it. People say you shouldn't do it. I give out loads of business cards and people never forget my face.
You've got a lovely face, very
Thank you very
smiley.
much.
We're nearly running out of time, but before you go, we've got to talk a little bit about yourself and your background and how did you get into life coaching? Because I know you've got lots of good credentials and you come into this role for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people, the jobs that they do fulfill a certain part of the life that they feel that they're missing in some way. And definitely for me, life coaching and hypnotherapy, I was born into social care, so I didn't have parents. And it was a very traumatic, at least first 40 years of my life were a real struggle. There were good times. I was very good at, because I have ADHD as well, so that compounds it sometimes. But what that meant for me is that I would start something or get a job doing something, and I would very quickly be very, very good at it, but that would also mean I'd be very, very bored. So I think in my lifetime I've moved 47 times. No, that's 25 times. I've moved 25 times, but I've had 47 jobs. I've had quite a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And this, the reason why I came into life coaching and hypnotherapy, because I wanted to heal myself. That's where it starts, and that's really, for me, I did what I set out to achieve, and I thought, if I've done it for myself, and I think I am quite a complex case, or was a complex case, if I can do that for myself, then I can do that for other people. And I feel duty bound in some way, because I'm so happy now. I live my life every day in wonderful flow. Honestly, I can get emotional talking about how happy I am in my life, and I just believe that everybody should have that same opportunity, because it's not as hard as what you think it is. You just need a little bit of guidance to be able to get there. And wouldn't the world be a happier place if we all lived in that constant state of flow and just were focusing on being happy?
And life coaching's kind of got popular over the past sort of 10 years or so. Do you think it's different, the way we live now is different to, say, in the war times or Victorian times? Because they didn't really have life coaching back then, or maybe they did. Maybe their family helped them, or because they had a closer network. Do you think times have moved on? And did people need life coaching back in the war times, or did they already have it?
I think they had life coaching. I think they had it in a different way. In other words, they were in the war, and that life coaching, that goal, because it's all about goals, isn't it? And that goal was to get through the war so that they could get to that happy place and have that happy life. So they were constantly focused on, we're going to get through this, we're going to get through this. And Winston Churchill was a really brilliant motivator. His quotes are absolutely fantastic. And so having a leader like him, and just knowing that one day it was going to be over. So that goal was there all the time, and it was a real tangible goal. And not only that, but it was a nationwide goal. So even though people had nothing, they were united. And to be united in a goal for peace and happiness is the best goal you could ever have. So no, I don't think they needed life coach. I think they life coached themselves because of the goals that they had. Now in the society that we have, where we have everything, where everything is instant, Instagram, people are less likely to think about what they want in the future, because they so easily can have anything they want right now. And so they tend to not look at the future. They just exist rather than create. And that is where you want to be. You want to be creating the life that you want, not dealing with the life that you have. If you desire the life that you have, if you're happy where you are, that's fantastic. But you should always be looking to be focusing on, how can I extend this happiness? You might be right happy this moment, but that point of being extended for days and days and days until you can't even remember when you had a bad day. Who has that? I do.
And you look like you do, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a bigger smile on anyone for such a long time. I could talk to you for so long.
Oh,
thank you so
another
much for
time.
coming on the show today, Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Nita.
Will you promise to come back again?
I
Another
promise I
time?
will. It's been lovely.
Because
really.
I think we've just touched the surface. We haven't really talked about all the subjects we could do. So I'd love to have you back on the show in the future.
Thank you very much. I'd love to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. So, is there a website?
Thank you, everyone.
That people
There is a
can
website.
Find out more about you?
It's essex-hypnotherapist.com. And when you go on there, my email, if you want any of the information that I've spoken about this evening that you want to know more about, this is really quick. rapidlifetransformation@gmail.com. And you can ask me any of the questions, and I can direct you to all the things that I've been talking about. But that's where my website is. I've got a speaker website, but the best thing to do is just to go on that website, and there is a contact page, and you can ask me any questions on that, and I'll get straight back to you, and we can have a conversation.
Brilliant stuff. We're going to leave this interview with another track by yourself.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. This one is Spotlight, and I love this. It doesn't have any significance to me other than I love it. I'll be singing it. I'll be dancing. I'd love for you to get up in the front room and just shake it about and have this dance with me, because it really is an uplifting. What do you call it, Grace? It's a banger, is it? Yeah, I think it's a banger.
You heard Anne-Marie. Turn it up loud. Get dancing. If you're in your car, turn it up loud too.
Yes, Grace. Come on, you know you want to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie. Have a dance. Claudette, have a dance. That was lovely, Nita.
Thank you so
I
much.
really,
You went
really
so
enjoyed
quickly.
that.
To
Yeah.
have you back on. again,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, you just tell me when.
Cool.
It's the truth. I'm not putting the words out. No, you know. Pretty. Every night. Come on, Gracie, let's have a dance.
Okay. I'm afraid we're going to have to go. 'cause
She's going to kick us out.
They lock the mill at 10.
Right.
So we're going to have to go,
Yes.
I'm afraid. It's going to be on Listen Again on the
Thank you,
CCR
everybody.
on the CCR website. So it will be on the what's it called? Mixcloud.
Mixcloud.
Mixcloud,
I'll give you
CCR.
details.
So
Yes.
you can listen
So
again
posh
to-
here. Did you see the lovely Nita? Should I just turn you around and say hello to the lovely Nita? Look, she's been amazing this evening. She deserves a hello. Nita,
Hello, everybody.
are you there? Are you in it?
Yes. About.
Thank you so much, Nita. Love to all your guests. There you go. Right, I have to go because we're actually being kicked out of the studio. What a
Yeah.
fantastic evening. I really enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed it too. Normal Monday next week, 8 p.m. See you next week. Bye.